What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, what just came out from Lucid itself, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up 3.18%, 223 the low, and then 231 the high. So it is showing some signs of it being alive. 28.8 million for the volume, 41.9 is the average. So no news today from Lucid itself, official news. There was a couple SEC forms that was submitted, a amended 13D and then a form 4. So very much correlated. And the form 4 did show right here, the PIF did buy on the 30th and also the 31st, transaction code P, so using their own money itself, which is a nice change of events for Lucid to see. But aside from that, 374 million shares were purchased, and then an additional 21 million. So all kind of known information. So we can even look back at this 8K where it did show the initial wanting for them to purchase 374 million shares. And then just as though they're getting milk, just dropping a little bit of like $2, they decided to buy additional 21.4 million shares just to maintain their 58.8% ownership. So kind of comical, but in reality, like I said, all of this has been very much known information. Retail loves to see these form 4s and just jump all over it, but like I said, it's not really new information. Algorithms are taking this as a very good positive and are really propelling it higher, in combination with a lot more bullish-ish, if that's even a word, articles. And so I think algorithms are really pushing it higher. And the reason why I know the majority of the volume comes from algorithms today is because if you analyze the other information, it's kind of painting a opposite picture. And that's exactly why I like to bring up all this information. So on the secondary market, you do have two transactions, one for 1.45 million, the other one for 500,000. Both are sells, similar to Friday. So yeah, you're having big money kind of selling Lucid today, but yet with it being up, it goes to show its algorithms, because even shorts are saying, nope, this isn't justified for it to be up 3%, because right now they're increasing 3.76 million shares. 20.14% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 240 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost of borrow average is 1.52, and then utilization is 82.43%. So algorithms are very powerful, and so they're able to offset shorts increasing and big money selling today. So something to kind of keep in mind. Options wise, 468,000 in calls, 65,000 in puts. So kind of low dollar value a little bit, but still it is what it is. 57% of all the options being done are optimistic and bullish, and based on shorts increasing that amount, it is fair to assume that they are hedging. So that's where a lot of the bullish options are coming from, in my opinion. And some people have asked me in the past, how do I know, or like, what do shorts do like when they're hedging? And so going over here, this is a very quick overview. So the protective call. So you sell, or you already are short, and then you ultimately buy one out of the money, or at the money or out of the money call option. So essentially it's limiting your loss. So for instance, if you anticipate the stock price to go higher, what they would do is they would just buy a 250 call. So if Lucid does go higher than 250, instead of getting squeezed out of your short position, your calls would cover that. So really recommend a lot of you to research options, because it is very profitable and very beneficial. But of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above 350 for this week. So that is encumbering their earnings. So a lot more optimism, I guess, is being seen through the options. And then looking at puts, you see a consensus for it to be sub $2. So this should be a fun week for Lucid, especially with their earnings. But right now with it at $2.26, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So 214 is a strong support, and then $2.64 is going to be the next strong resistance / target. In my opinion, I think it's going to gravitate towards this S1 leading up to their earnings. Tomorrow you do have the elections, so depending on kind of how that turns out, you might have the whole EV sector very, very volatile. But as of right now though, one additional thing that should be coming out soon will be new ratings. So I think, once again, if Lucid does do fairly good for their future guidance, I think that might stimulate some optimism. So maybe $3-4 price targets. So on a return on investment based on where it is now, that would be seen as fairly good, but we'll just have to wait and see. As of today, it's kind of showing, like I said, just some signs of life, but still bouncing off of that ALMA. So yeah, it looks like Lucid is somewhat struggling, but I think that has to do with just all the suppression. So shorts increasing and big money selling isn't really helping the scenario all that much. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What is your overall viewpoint on Lucid? And just to give you a overview, I did bring this up in my video yesterday, but in case you did miss it, the implied move for Lucid's earnings is set for roughly 15.73% in either direction. So Elliott Wave Technicals right now are projecting for it to hit the high ones, so that would encumber that. So it's either going to be high ones or possibly 250 or in excess of 250. So anything is possible. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Are you buying this Form 4? Are you buying based on this information, or are you selling? One thing that really does bother me itself, like I've covered in the past, is this right here. So let's just pull up Lucid Insider. So we see the PIF transaction code P, so they have put their money where their mouth is and keep backing Lucid. So I think generally people like that. One thing that really does piss me off is the CEO. So Peter Rawlinson. So we can kind of look here. So he sells quite a lot. It is for tax purposes, so can't hate on him all that much. But at the same time, for what he makes, he should put his money where his mouth is. So by him never even purchasing any shares whatsoever, I see that as extremely negative, as a massive red flag. And so I think Peter, at the end of the day, does really need to kind of show his commitment towards Lucid. Even you can tell from a lot of my comments on previous videos, people are they understand the stock price and ramping up is difficult, but management has really dropped the ball on a lot of different aspects. And I think that's hindered Lucid's growth. They should be probably 2 or 3x where they are right now. So I think a lot of that does fall back onto Peter, and the fact that he doesn't even believe enough to purchase any shares, I think that's just something that does need to be massively fixed. So please, I think it's already too late for these questions from retail, but next earnings, that is a must. Peter, are you intending to ever purchase any stock using your own money? That is probably and should be question number 1 posed to management from retail, unless, again, put on the tinfoil hat speculation, Lucid employees kind of make those crappy questions once again. But still, like, I think that is definitely something that needs to be answered, and he needs to be made aware of that, like, majority of the investors are not satisfied with his performance. So yeah, that's just my 2-second rant. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. 2 things I do want to share with you. Take advantage of this promo because it gives you free stocks. Free stocks are amazing, right? 8 free shares based on that. Each share is valued up to $2,000. Then over and above that, I did launch memberships. So if you like my channel, want to support the growth, you can definitely do so. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.